What up, everybody? Welcome back, Project 550. My name is Sunny. Thank you guys for stopping by. This is video 2 of a 4-part series. Maybe 3, I think 4 though. And I wanted to thank you guys, first of all, for stopping by, checking me out. If this is your first time stopping in, I appreciate you. If you're returning, I appreciate you just as much as well. But if this is your first time, I urge you to go back and watch the first part of this series. But before we get into it, do me a favor, run over to the like button, smash that down. Same with the subscribe, leave a comment, and then share with everybody you know. And let's get this algorithm jumping, right? I appreciate it. So I'm going to jump right into it. Again, if you didn't see the first video, I urge you to go back and watch that. Hopefully that'll let this make a little bit more sense, right? So we're going to get into the family and how my morbid obesity, the outcomes of my food addiction have affected my family. And I'm going to start with my wife, all right? My wife, the Lord blessed me with the most amazing, beautiful, hardworking, loving, my wife is, I can't say enough to emphasize what she is. God blessed me. I remember when I was young, one thing I used to pray for was, or ask God for was a good wife. God smacked it out of the park, man. I got me a zinger with this one. Not to say that we didn't have our struggles, but man, my wife is amazing, dude. And I want to kind of get into how my morbid obesity affected her, because I get frustrated when I hear these body positivity people saying that let them live their life. They're not hurting anybody. You know, they're happy. It's their body and their life. And that's the farthest freaking thing from the truth that there could be. And let me explain. When I met my wife, I was 5'9", about 170 pounds. I was running to the gym. I was running several miles a day. I was working out in the gym every single day. I was going to work every single day, 6, sometimes 7 days a week, making decent money and selling the dream. And it wasn't fake or false. That's what I believed. And that's what she signed up for. And we had goals and we had dreams and we had ideas. And I had a beautiful wife and she had a beautiful husband. I'm not trying to toot my horn, but I was a decent dude, a decent looking dude. I was fit. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't perfect, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I wasn't no dud either. You know what I'm saying? And she didn't get what she signed up for. I wasn't raised to understand how to eat or food or counting calories or reading labels or any of that. Like, I didn't understand food for nothing. Even when I was in tip-top shape, running in the gym, I was eating fast food every day. But it didn't matter because I worked hard. I exercised hard. And shortly after I met my wife, I was in a car accident and hurt my back. And I couldn't work out no more. I herniated 3 discs in my back. Working out was done. But what wasn't done was the eating habits that I had developed my entire life, which weren't good. I thought dieting was getting the bacon ranch at Carl's Jr.'s as opposed to the Superstar. I thought it was getting, zucchini fries instead of Crisco fries. That was dieting. That was eating right. You know what I'm saying? Getting the bacon chicken wrap instead of, maybe it's slightly better, but it wasn't. You know what I mean? I didn't understand it. And so I put on a lot of weight really quick. It felt like I woke up one day and I was 450, 500 pounds. And that's a symptom of addiction. You lie to yourself. You manipulate yourself. Just like drugs. You think you got it under control. I'll be able to quit someday. I'll get back in the gym. This is just temporary. Lying to yourself, lying to everybody else. The parallels are astounding. But what sucks is that I became unable to work. I became disabled. I was no longer able-bodied. So my wife had to bring in the bread. So I quit being the breadwinner. I quit being any winner of any bread. I just consumed the bread that she brought in. And she never complained. She never made me feel bad about it. She never caused harm or said anything bad about my weight. I don't know. Maybe she should have. Maybe not bad, but maybe she should have said more. But it's not her fault. I'm not blaming her. That's a whole nother discussion. But it's my problem. It's my fault. It's something I should have done. But she didn't sign up for this. We wanted to buy a house. We can't do that on a single income. We wanted to go on vacations with our kids. Nope, can't do that on a single income. We wanted to raise our kids in a certain way, going to ball games and enrolling them in sports and going to activities and taking them out camping and going hiking and being in nature and teaching them about all this stuff. Nope, dad can't go, so mom's not going to go. That's not what she signed up for. I think that the outcomes are similar to any other drug addiction. If you've got dad that's a raging alcoholic or meth addict or whatever, his chances are he's in jail or prison or whatever and not going to the games, and mom's doing it all on her own and paying all the bills and raising the kids all on her own. Like I said in the last video in this series, if you think that being 600 pounds sitting in your bed all day is any different than being in prison from drug addiction is much different, you're wrong. When you go to prison because of drug addiction, which I'm guilty of, you're sitting on your bed or your rack all day in your cell. You're in your bedroom on your bed or your rack all day. The parallels are astounding. The outcomes are very, very similar. She didn't sign up for that. She didn't sign up to have to wash my feet or help me wash my back or my arms or take a shower. But that's what she got. She didn't sign up to, how do I put this without being vulgar? Like, she didn't get the life that, she didn't get a normal bedroom life. That went away. I don't mean to embarrass you, and I'm not trying to be nasty or gross, but I'm just being honest. We didn't get to go on vacation. We got blessed one time to go on a vacation. Financially, someone blessed us, or this through circumstances, situation. We were able to go to Disneyland, and it was me, my wife, and my kids, and my sister and her kids, and we went to Disneyland. And what that looks like is driving to Disneyland, because I can't fly. I can't fly anywhere. I mean, I probably could, but I can't. Driving to Disneyland, trying to find a motel with, double king size bed or king size bed, that's big enough for me and my wife. That wasn't too terrible. But then they have vendors down there where you can rent one of those Larks or one of those, wheelie buggies, like one of the Walmart ones or whatever, the electric wheelchair buggy things. And so I had to have one of those dropped off at Disneyland, or we went to the place across the street from me, whatever, and picked it up. And they had to follow me around the park on my little wheelie buggy, and I couldn't go on no rides, and that's fine. I was happy that everybody got to go. But what's unfortunate is you can feel the people sneering and looking and snickering and pointing and wondering, how this 600-pound dude got a family. And I got real thick skin. It still hurt. But what really hurt me is I know it hurt them. I know it. They had to have felt that, and they buried it for my sake. But they didn't sign up for that, and it's not fair, and it's not right, and it's not cool. Just like when you have the drug addict dad or mom, and they're strung out and tweaked out and sores on their face, or sloppy, stumbling drunk, and the people at the school function are like, whose dad or mom is that? That's crazy. When they find out it's little Johnny's, it's like, oh, stay away from little. And little Johnny's embarrassing and goes through these emotions, and it's not fair. It's not right to them. They didn't sign up for that. And I wish I had seen it sooner. But who knows? Maybe this is just a part of the plan. Maybe I had to see it now so that I could make this channel and help somebody else. Like I said, a part of this channel is to help other people so that they don't have to go through what I went through, and they don't have to put their wife and their children through the things that I went through. Me and my wife have always talked about going on a cruise. That's not going to happen. I mean, it will now. When I get on the other side of that, that's bucket list number one. We're going on a cruise, baby. Soon as I can. We're going. We wanted nice cars. I couldn't even have a car for a long time because I couldn't fit in there to drive. I had bought a truck, and I had to go all over and find a machine shop that would alter the rails on my seat so I could slide my seat back enough to where I could get in there so I could drive. And most places won't do it because it's a safety hazard. And if something happens and you're like, well, such and such did my seat, they could get sued. So they didn't want to do it. I had to go find just the most ratchet place on the planet. And to be honest with you, dude was a gangster about it. Dude handled his business on that welder and got that seat marked. Like, I stayed the most hole in the wall place, but dude was a G about it. He got that seat in there, something nice that my old Dodge Ram. And I had a vehicle. Cool. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't it wasn't something that I was able to regularly do. My wife had to spend many a nights in the emergency room with me, even though she had to get up at 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning to go to work. We're in the hospital 2, 3 nights a week or a month or whatever, because I get a pain in my chest and think it's the big kahuna. And I'm like, baby, we got to go. This is it. I love you. I love you. Tell the kids I love them. Call my mom. It's over. Constant anxiety over my health. So much so that I have a blood pressure monitor and a A1C test and a glucose tester and a oximeter. The fact that I even know what an oximeter is like alarm bells ringing. That's to test your oxygen. Oxygen saturation. I'm so terrified of the potential health outcomes and risks of the morbid obesity that I'm constantly checking myself and in fear and going to the hospital. And the one who has to go with me and suffer through that with me is my wife, and she didn't sign up for that. But she's a trooper and she does it. Okay, I won't say she doesn't complain. Sometimes she complained about that. She had a hard time with that, but I understand. I don't blame her. I'm not upset. But I was scared, and I enjoyed and appreciated having her there, because a lot of times I didn't know if I was going to be going home. I was terrified. And she depends on me to be the leader of the house. That's what she signed up for. But how can I be the spiritual leader of the home when I can't even fulfill my duties to the Lord that I'm required to fulfill as a man and as a leader of the house, right? Am I being a leader to my wife and my children by showing them a lack of self-control? Absolutely not. Am I being a leader to my wife and my children and my family by showing them that living in sin for so long, by succumbing to the addiction of food and idolizing and succumbing to idolatry of food? I'm not. Am I being the protector? Am I going to work? The Bible says as a man, you need to go to work and provide. I can't do that. So many of the roles that are required of the man biblically are being fulfilled by my wife, yet she still allows me to lead the home. My wife is a superstar, dude. She encourages me and she lifts me up and has done it for many, many years, and it's paying off. If somebody breaks into my house, I can't protect my family. I got about 3 seconds. I got one good swing. If I can't take the person or every person out in 2 good swings, it's a wrap. I'm done. They're done because I'm done. If something happens out in public and I'm forced to in a situation where they need somebody to defend them, it's curtains. And don't say, well, get strapped or have a gun. Bro, you can barely even hold your arms up to hold a gun, and you certainly can't. Your aim ain't on point, and you're not going to the range to be sufficient with your firearms because you can barely walk or get out of bed. Who are you kidding? So I want to tell you, baby, I see all these things, and I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I know you forgive me, and I know you know that I'm sorry. And I just want to tell you, I'm locked in. This is the one. We're going to do it. We're going. I love you. And if you are married and have a family and you're struggling with food addiction or morbid obesity, I urge you to listen to what I'm saying. I'm not telling you what to do or how to live your life. I'm encouraging you to analyze and interpret your situation based on the knowledge that I've just given you about my life and my situation, and see if there's something that needs to be done in your life and your situation. And if there is, hit me up. I'll do everything I can. I'll give you everything I got to help you. I'll share with you everything that I've gone through and everything that I've done, and I'll encourage you, and I'll be the best that I can to try to help you get to the other side. I know it's difficult. I know it's hard. I know it's going to take time, but I also know it can be done, and we're going to do it. And I'm going to show you guys that we're going to do it. And that's the end of this video. The next video, we're going to get into the next topic, which is still family, but children. So join me there. I thank you guys again. I love you. Peace.